How nerdy we all are in the best of ways. Brilliant. Oh my gosh. And really, we get to be kids in a way still. How beautiful. That's fantastic. Okay. We are at our finale here. Where is she? We don't need to spin the wheel, do we really? Let's give it up for Nix. We will spin it though, I guess. We need to see, you need the confetti. You need confetti. Here it comes. Woo! Love and support. Oh, there it is. I thought maybe it was going to short you, and I thought, that's not fair. All right, I'll do my part here. Make sure I have the right thing. So it's so appropriate to follow comic with, see? It's like we planned it.
Woo! How convenient.
How convenient. Are you ready, my friend? And you'll have your monitor down there, and if you want to stand here, you can. It's up to you.
This here.
You got that. All right, take it away.
All right. Good evening, distinguished members of the jury. We are now presenting the case of the people versus Comic Sans. My name is Nix Thomas, the public defender of Comic Sans, and we are here to discuss the defense of the misunderstood, the maligned, and the misused Comic Sans. A little bit about me: I'm the founder of Phoenixborn Creations, an independent creative studio, and I proudly serve as an Adobe community expert. I'm deeply passionate about learning, creating, and sharing what I know. And tonight I stand before you not as a designer, but as the public defender of Comic Sans. So let's go ahead and meet our so-called villain. May I please introduce the typographic menace, the kerning catastrophe, and the font that launched 1,000 eye rolls, Comic Sans. Designers revile it, the internet mocks it, and here's the twist. Maybe Comic Sans isn't the villain, maybe it's just misunderstood. So let's set the scene for our innocent defendant. He was born in 1994, the brainchild of Vincent Conair, a type designer at Microsoft, and it was designed for Microsoft Bob to make computers more approachable. Conair was inspired by those comic book letterings and created something that felt casual, handwritten, and friendly. So let's let the record show. The issue isn't Comic Sans itself, it's how people use it. Context is everything, and that's where it gets a bad rap. So today, honorable jury, the defense moves to prevent the above five key arguments in defense of this innocent typeface. So let us begin with Exhibit A. It is designed for accessibility. It is the beacon of accessibility, and according to the British Dyslexia Association, they recommend sans serif fonts such as Comic Sans because it is accessible, inclusive, and clear to read for those with dyslexia and learning abilities. Next, we have Exhibit B. It's friendly by design. Its soft, bubbly letter forms aren't bad design. They're intentional, like your favorite typographic equivalent of your favorite childhood blanket. In a world full of Helvetica and stress, maybe what we need is something warm and approachable. Next, Exhibit C. Misuse isn't poor design. You wouldn't blame a wine glass for being filled with soup, so why blame a casual font for formal disasters? So let's look at some of these infamous misuses and where Comic Sans can actually be used where it belongs. So now I present 4 clear cases of reckless typographic behavior. Viewer discretion is advised. Tragedy? Yes. With great power comes great responsibility. And that means choosing the right font like the rest of the signs have. Number 2. Life-saving treatment delivered in the tone of a lemonade stand. This feels less like a medical urgency and more like a crisis of design. Honestly, when the message is about marrow, maybe skip the fonts that scream craft fair, and because I've got a bone to pick with that font choice. Number 3, a playful font for a permanent goodbye. That's a cold, sans serif case of poor judgment. Let the court know, pairing whimsy with mortality is a grave offense in the design world. And lastly, not only does this deer tick sign fail to warn, it practically invites the ticks to RSVP with a party hat and a +1. Plus, the sign is meant to be read far away, not up close. So members of the jury, this isn't bad design, it's bad deployment. Comic Sans didn't commit these crimes, it was framed. So, let's examine proper use cases. Proof that when Comic Sans is in its proper context, we can support a not guilty verdict. This is warm, it's whimsical, and completely age appropriate. The bunny isn't scary and neither is the font. It's huggable, actually. Number 2, we have a beginner reader kids book. High contrast, distinct letter forms, leading meant for accessibility, and a fun tone that helps keep readers engaged. Comic Sans reads like a bedtime story, because sometimes it is one. And number 3, its round, open shapes and clean structure make it easier for young readers and neurodivergent learners to distinguish letters, and that's design that serves, not just decorates. Look at how easy it is to learn shapes and colors and everything else with these delightful letters. And finally, a font doing exactly what it was designed for, comic dialogue. Comic Sans isn't guilty of being bad. It's guilty of showing up in the wrong context. But when used properly, like with Undertale Sans, speaking in Comic Sans, it's not a design crime, it's comical perfection. So let the record show, Gen Z, the tastemakers of TikTok, have fully embraced the ugly cute aesthetic, and Comic Sans isn't surviving, it's thriving in memes, remixes, and reinventions. Its versatility brings staying power that brings it into its own, and because it is infamous, because it is iconic. Everywhere, unforgettable, and undeniably recognizable. It's not just a font, it's a cultural staple that has been banned, mocked, and memed, yet it persists. After 31 years, it still reminds us not every typeface needs to wear a suit and tie, and that's real design power. And remember, if Comic Sans can survive the internet, a bunch of non-designers misusing it, so can your worst design day. So a huge thank you to the incredible CreativePro team, to Brennan Lee Mulligan and Zach Oyama from Dropout for the inspiration for this, and of course, to my friends and family who have supported me along the way. And lastly, whether you believe Comic Sans is an underrated masterpiece, or you're still convinced it's the typographic crime of the century, I want to hear from you. Let's talk fonts, feelings, and creative chaos. And in the end, great design isn't about the font, it's about the story we tell with it. Kurt is now adjourned. Good night.
Amazing! Woo! Case dismissed, or whatever a judge would say.
So, may I ask a question to our audience? By a show of hands, who here thinks Comic Sans is innocent? Yeah, let's go!
Bravo, well done. How are you feeling now?
Amazing. I've always wanted to do this, and this is my first one, so.
Awesome! Well, round of applause for Nyx and all of our amazing, brave, and courageous, creative, generous souls who participated tonight. Thank you. That was fantastic. So thank you so much for coming, for braving the stage to you guys, and for supporting them with all of our love and support. One more round of applause for all of them, really.